You want to support Roland Martin Unfiltered? Be sure to join our Bring the Funk fan club. Every dollar that you give to us supports our daily digital show. There's only one daily digital show out here that keeps it black and keep it real. As Roland Martin Unfiltered. Support the Roland Martin Unfiltered daily digital show by going to RolandMartinUnfiltered.com. You can make this possible. Joining me right now is a couple of folks, Michael Killer Mike Render, as well as Lynn Tillman Cherry. She's the Chief Compliance and Risk Officer. Glad to have both of y'all with us. Mike, I'm going to start with you. And I'll just throw out this way what I was talking about. I just really get tired of black folks who bitch and moan about what we need, what ain't happening, who ain't doing this, who ain't doing that. Somebody need to do this, somebody need to do this. What y'all have done is like, well, hell, we ain't just going to keep waiting on somebody else. We're going to do it. And that's what y'all created.
Yeah, we can you hear me?
Yeah, we got you. Go ahead, we got you.
Well, I think it's important. First of all, let's acknowledge that Greenwood was a part of Tulsa, Oklahoma that existed. It was by blacks for blacks. It was that way because segregation and apartheid of what they call Jim Crow did not allow for us to be fully a part of this country, in the way we deserve to be. So we created our own. And because of that, terrorism, and aligned with the government at that point, destroyed that part of town. Greenwood is a spirit. It's a spirit of black self-reliance. And it not only helps our community, it helps the greater community through helping the unbanked get banked, whether that's black or Latinx or poor and working class white folk. It helps take your checks out of the liquor store hands, out of the check cashing places, and out of the places that are predatory lenders, and it allows you to start banking. Greenwood, as a community, was resilient and self-reliant, and this banking platform is welcome to all, but it is definitely for black people, and it's for the unbanked. So I'm happy to be a part of it. I'm happy to be a part of this banking platform that is going to help us radically change poor and working class people's lives in this country.
Lynn, explain to folk exactly what it is, because some might think, okay, this is a physical bank. Lynn, they might think you're going to be building buildings around the country. And so for the folk who have not heard about Greenwood, explain, Lynn, exactly what is it?
Sure. Thanks, Roland, for having me on. Greenwood is a digital bank, which means there will be no brick and mortar branches. Those are essentially faux pas at this point in COVID times, in the digital advancement that is occurring globally. Digital is the way to go. People have more efficiency interacting at their convenience 24/7, 365 without having to depend on a branch being open. We can deliver the same plus some additional service digitally that would not be available in a branch.
And when we talk about a digital branch, what are the services, Michael? And so, what will people be able to do? Is it a banking card? Is it a credit card? Or can they make deposits, withdrawals? What are the banking services for them?
So the banking services are held in your hand traditionally like a regular bank, right? So most 65% of people are banking now on their hand. My 13-year-old daughter banks on her hand. What we have, and when I say on her hand, it's on her phone. My wife checks our accounts on her phone. So you're going to be able to have a traditional account. You're going to be able to make deposits. You're going to be able to draw. We are partnering with other banks, black and large banks, to be able to make sure that your deposits are covered. Beyond that, though, what Greenwood gives you the ability to do is, instead of having to say, when I worked at AutoZone, I made about $200 a week. When I would cash my check for a month, when I had lost the bank account for a month, my check went from me being able to cash my check at about $200 and have $200 in my account to having to go to a liquor store. That liquor store took 20% of what I cashed my check for. So that means instead of having $200 and being able to save 40 or pay for my daughter's nursery or things of that nature, I now had 160 to try to work with. That crippled me for a month. So imagine having to live like that a year, 2, 3 years. So what it enables the unbanked to do is to actually have a bank. It also is going to grow into a loan center, meaning people who want cars and houses. And beyond that, it's going to be a capital injector for businesses that are considered non-traditional outside of our community. If a Black man comes and says, hey, I want to open up a barbershop and I have a concept for 10 barbershops, then you have to understand that this bank is going to be uniquely prepared to deal with that versus saying, I go to one of the big four who have no understanding of what Black barbershops are. They only understand maybe supercuts and great clips.
So, okay, what is the status of it now? So I just literally just went to bankgreenwood.com and I clicked Get Access Now, asked for my email. Then it said my current position is number 511839. Does that mean that 511,000 people, 838
Yes.
are waiting? So
Yes.
is the bank active? Is it so like what's going on right now?
Then
So
you
I'll
want to take that one? There you go.
Sure. I'll take that one. So because there is a perception in our community that if Black people are attached to something, it won't be right, we are making absolutely sure it's right. We are building the best product that we can put into the market. We want to be the example for any who follow. The executive team at Greenwood is a phenomenal team built with people who have expertise, the knowledge and experience in banking and technology to deliver a product that we can be proud of that will be world class.
Absolutely.
So here right here says full service digital banking in your hands, digital savings and spending accounts, Apple and Android Pay, peer-to-peer transfers, mobile banking, 2-day early pay, no hidden fees, global ATM network, community reinvestment. Okay, so when I popped on as I own this media company, I'm a Black business, and again, you have folks who obviously banks depend upon deposits, and so I was sitting here like, okay, let me go on. I want to be able to say, fine, we're going to open a $25,000 account on Greenwood. When? What's your plan?
Yep.
When do you plan? When do you plan to for folks to be able to like what's your timeline?
Yep. So we are planning the launch for the first half of this year. We know that people are getting a bit tired of waiting, but again, in order for us to bring the best product to market,
right?
Unfortunately, there is time involved in that. You don't get a second chance to make a first impression. So if it's garbage when it comes out, we will never redeem ourselves, and we're not going to absorb that reputational risk. This has to be right.
Michael, are you surprised? Were you surprised that like someone I just popped on that 511,000 people have already signed up and are waiting for information?
I'm more surprised we don't have 1 million yet. I so appreciate the 500,000 people that have signed on. I appreciate them not only for signing on and having faith in the process. I appreciate them because they understand that if I can wait to get in the club for NBA All-Star, if I can wait to get in the club for Super Bowl, if I can wait on freedom, which we've been promised is coming, in 57 years of freedom, we still haven't got it yet. I can wait on a banking platform that is designed for me by people like me. So I appreciate the 500,000 that are waiting. And what I appreciate more is the next 500,000 and 500,000 that are going to come after that, because the first 500,000 are truly pioneers and innovators. Just like we built Chime, just like we built Apple Pay, just like we have built Twitter, just like we have built Instagram and now Clubhouse, Black people's influence and dollars has the ability to build damn near any institution in this country. And we're going to prove that so with this. And I appreciate the 500,000, including you, that are on board, and we're going to march forward and victoriously when the doors open.
See, the thing, and look, I totally get the point about Lynn, about the point about, in terms of wanting to how it look and how it works and operational, because look, I mean, the same thing when we did this show. There are people. I had somebody. It was quite interesting. I had a brother who said, "Damn, man. Your show looked pretty good."
Come on, Roland.
And I went.
They thought you was gonna lose the ascot. They thought you was gonna lose the pepper, man. No, sir.
And I was like, what are y'all like? What were y'all thinking? And in fact, I was on a panel. This is 100% true story. I was on a panel Procter & Gamble invited me. Speaking at Procter & Gamble, y'all need to be advertising. Procter & Gamble invited me to be on a panel, and it was around the commercial they did called The Talk. And it was at the National Underground Museum in Cincinnati. So we're on this panel, and this young brother, I think he owned a barbershop, and I understood his heart. He said, y'all, we got to support Roland Martin Unfiltered. He said, it may not look as good as CNN. And I went, wait a goddamn minute.
Come on now, talk to him.
And I said, bro, hold up. Bro, no, I said, my shit look good.
Come on.
And I had to, and so for the people who are watching, I need y'all to understand what Michael is saying, what Lynn is saying. Because here's the reality. I said, no, bro, my graphics look good. I said, we got 4K cameras, robotic cameras, we got lighting. I said, we got 65-inch monitors behind. So we go put on a professional product because the reality is this to what you're saying, Lynn, and this is just real. We were just talking about this with my panel, is that the psychological self-hate of black folks is that, man, that shit don't look good. It look raggedy. Well, it is black. And we literally have to overcome that in our presentation, because if it does not look as equal, as slick, as professional, as on point, black folks will rip it apart and will bypass bugs of somebody else, but then hold us to a higher standard. So I totally understand exactly what you're talking about.
Exactly.
Definitely.
It's like Franz Fanon, Wretched of the Earth. It's like Franz Fanon, Wretched of the Earth. You have been trained not to trust yourselves, and we are here to help you get on the pathway. That doesn't mean we fix everything. It means we do our little part. Because if all of us do a little, no one has to do a lot. And let me tell you one of the littles I'm most proud of with Greenwood. You were talking about the NAACP before you got to us. I tell people oftentimes, there's nothing wrong with starting your new organization, nothing wrong with plotting, planning, strategizing, organizing, mobilizing something new. But do not abandon the 100-year banks like Citizens Trust that have brought you here. Just like you support the new Greenwoods. Do not abandon the NAACPs that have brought you here, no matter what you create new. With that lawsuit the NAACP is bringing up, it really shows you the power of that org. Well, with Greenwood, when you upcharge with your black card from Greenwood, two organizations that benefit directly are the NAACP and the United Negro College Fund. So we get to send more black kids to school to become our financiers, our lawyers, our doctors, our engineers and architects, and then we get to support a 100-year-old organization that now is supporting us as they coming out and bring a full legal squad out to make sure that suits on our behalf to and against old tyrannical governments and leaders of those governments to make sure that we're treated well in matters of Fulton County, Fulton County's election and others. So banking with Greenwood also supports the NAACP and United Negro College Fund, and I'm very proud of that.
Wayne, go ahead.
No, I was just going to add that, it's not just the look of the product, the look and feel. Financial services is heavily regulated. So the last thing that we want to happen is that the back office is in shambles, but you have a shiny new card and the regulators come and shut it down because of that. And so that's really what my role encompasses, to make sure the business activities are in line with federal and state regulatory requirements so that does not happen.
So you said the goal is for you to launch the first half of this year. So obviously this is February. So really between now and June, of course, Juneteenth might be a great start. Being a native of Texas, we were the first state that actually, we the ones who found out late. So everybody running around hollering Juneteenth, y'all keep in mind what it was all about. We found out late. Okay, that's what Juneteenth was. But at least the late Al was my frat brother. He was the one that got the godfather of Juneteenth that actually made it a state holiday in Texas. But what this is, it is about breaking the chains. And Michael, you just said something I think people just looked over, and I said all the time, we make shit sexy. We make stuff hot. Clubhouse has $1 billion evaluation because of black people. When it comes to social media platforms, when it comes to everything, we make it hot, we make it sexy. And I've always said, if we're gonna make something hot and sexy and rich, it'd be us. And I posted on Instagram a few weeks ago, I said, everybody has monetized black culture except black people.
Yeah.
This is about saying we already banking, we spending money. Why not do it with something that's black owned?
Absolutely, and not just because we're black owned. We're providing top tier. I can tell you, I'm just not a tech guy. I'm not as into tech. But as they walk me through behind the scenes, this is what it's going to do. I honestly now understand how I'm going to be and see how easy it is going to be to bank from my phone. My wife is just much more technologically savvy and financially savvy than me. So I lean to her. So I'm glad that finally I have something that I can have in my hand. I won't frustrate her with questions all day. So we're going to bring you top tier. It's going to look good. It's going to feel good. It's going to look cool. But more than that, it's going to give people that deserve to be banked the opportunity to bank without having to jump through the hoops of the big four banks, without being given accounts that will skim, that will take from them like the big four have in the past. And it will make sure that they don't have to live in the desert that is like a food desert and a bank desert in communities they are. So I'm very proud to be associated with the
So I got to go ahead because, and I got to throw this out. And I really do, Lynn, I really do a very good job of hating, of ignoring haters, of dismissing trolls. But I do sometimes have to smack the shit out of these YouTube historians. And so I was, because we a couple of months ago we actually ran the commercial. If y'all can find it, let me know. We ran the commercial, and just for all the people who are watching, when they rolled out Greenwood, they did reach out to us, and we actually ran for 2 weeks their commercial. So they actually were a sponsor. So for everybody out there, when we talk about supporting black, because I know somebody like, Roland, you said you're going to sit here and deposit money in the county of Greenwood. Well, they're going to support you. They already have, y'all. So y'all need to understand that the check actually cleared. So don't even try to front. But Lynn, I see the folk out here. Greenwood is not a bank. Killer Mike's Greenwood is a boule grift. I ain't realized Killer Mike was in the boule. I didn't realize that. Killer Mike, I didn't see your name on the list. I mean, me and Scott Bolden, we in, but so Scott, because first of all, I guarantee y'all Killer Mike ain't in the boule because you gotta wear they matter of fact, I almost didn't get in because I had my ascot on at the initiation, and it's mandatory you gotta wear a bow tie. And they almost didn't let me in because I ain't have a bow tie on. So I'm like, y'all, Killer Mike ain't gonna be in no bow tie. So I'm just letting y'all know that.
If I'm in a bow tie, it's because I've met with Mr. Farrakhan that day, and he's telling me to email. I'm just a working class kid who grew up in a neighborhood called the Collier Heights in Atlanta, Georgia. It was founded in 1948, and it was founded by black people for black people. So everybody lived there, from regular working class black folks like my grandparents to Cynthia and Billy McKinney, to Martin Luther King's parents, to Herman Russell. So I got a chance to see people who were members of the Jack and Jill's Club and people who were influential and powerful in Atlanta. I certainly was just a smart kid who was a blue-collar kid. And what I was smart enough to know that my grandparents' way of life was right. At 5 years old, my grandparents took me and my sisters to start bank accounts with Citizens Trust. I've had numerous black bank accounts through my life. At 8 years old, my grandparents bought stock from me in Coca-Cola and Delta. So what I am is a product of a man and woman who grew up in the rural South, who understood that if I don't take care of myself and my coin, then no one else is going to take care of me. I am not a product of the boule. I'm a product of Tuskegee, Alabama, and Edenton, Georgia, and two grandparents that made sure that I acted as a responsible black man, that I married a black woman, and I created a legacy with black children and family. I absolutely have that. I have joined no fraternity or social clubs, even though I know a lot of homeboys that are Qs and Kappas and Alphas and even Crips and Bloods. I have joined nothing.
And guess what? Bottom line is we need our institutions to do stuff. But Lynn, speak to that, whoever this fool is saying. And first of all, they really don't matter to me because their video got 15 views.
Okay.
I mean, I get 3,000 dancing on Periscope in the car. But I do want you to answer that when somebody hollers, Greenwood is not a bank, it's not a real bank, it's not real. How do you answer that?
Well, my answer to that would be, what have real banks done for you to this point? Tell me. Greenwood is not brick and mortar. The building means nothing. It is what Greenwood represents and the institution that Greenwood portrays and what it is giving to the community. You can't deny the deposits that we're sharing with Black-owned banks. You can't deny the donations that we're giving back to the causes, NAACP and UNCF. So help me define what a bank is. It is not the Webster's Dictionary definition.
Absolutely. And the last point here, Mike, that people have to understand is we're now operating in a different world. I use Square. I mean, literally, I was just talking about people who want to support the show, support us via Cash App, PayPal, Zelle, Venmo. Yeah. Those are all financial instruments that have completely changed the game. It used to be, if my mama called me and like I get those calls, hey, the AC unit went out. 10 years ago, I had to sit here, go to their bank, go make a deposit, the money show up the next day, and then I got to get there before 2 p.m., or I can do a transfer. Hell, now I'm like, who you paying? They got Cash App? I can send them the $500,000, done. I mean, so this idea, well, it's not a bank. Hell, people tell me, when you go get your TV show, you can watch my ass on YouTube on your TV. That's a TV show. It's a show on a TV.
Yes.
Funny story. I was amazed the first time I saw somebody buy a bottle and pay for lap dances with a PayPal account. So one of the dancers, she said, Mike, I signed up in the Blue Flame. Shout out to the Blue Flame and Mike Potato. Black on right there in the Curry Heights. But one of the dancers said, Mike, I can't wait for y'all to open up Greenwood, because that way they can just send it to my card. I'm tired of picking up money off the floor. And I said, boy, liberation coming in a lot of different forms.
Look, I'm about to end the show. My barber literally is downstairs. He got rid of his shop. He now comes to you. For the last 4 years, I'm like, Dave, dog, I'm tired of having to go to an ATM to get some cash for your ass. I'm like, Dave, I need you to get Cash App or something. I said, bro, I'm sitting there driving like, damn, cause I don't carry cash. I'm like, we're
gonna have them back in Greenwood. Dave, we want you at Greenwood. That way we pay it electronically, and we definitely curbing Corona.
He just got Cash App 2 months ago. I was like, praise the Lord. I said, otherwise I gotta be running around like a crackhead looking for an ATM. Lynn and Killer Mike, I appreciate it. Thank you so very much. Y'all, greenwoodbank.com. And I'm going to end the show. We're going to play the commercial. Again, this is a freebie. So, again, this is a freebie for y'all. I'll hook y'all up. But, Mike, as well as Lynn, I appreciate it. Thanks a lot.
All right. Thanks, Roland.
Bye-bye.
All right, y'all. This is the commercial that we ran a couple months ago announcing the launch of Greenwood Bank. Watch this.
Black self-reliance. It's central to our legacy. From inventions we use every single day to Silicon Valley or the Silicon Savannah. Black innovation has always made this world a better place. Greenwood's namesake? Founded in 1906. Built directly from the intelligence and discipline of Black dreamers. Looking to create a safe, productive, self-sufficient society. Looking for real freedom. So they built it. Imagine a Black neighborhood with its own transportation systems, its own grocery stores, cafes, hotels, barbershops, banks, doctor's offices, newspapers, and schools. A Black economy so rich that the dollar circulated 36 times within the community before leaving it. Whether you had a little or a lot, your Black dollars had an impact. You know, the year 2021 is going to mark 100 years since the lives and life's work of the Greenwood community was violently destroyed. But that still hasn't stopped us. Black ingenuity has continued to astonish and inspire the world. So what are we going to do? Grow with it or keep giving it away?
There's no question that Black and brown people have laid the foundations of this nation. We have never participated fully in the green. We think if we can get some of that money to you, you will know what to do with it.
Today's Greenwood is a coalition of everyday people. Citizens, entrepreneurs, entertainers, politicians coming together with a singular mission, strengthening and circulating the black dollar, using the same savings and community reinvestment strategies of our ancestors to shrink the black wealth gap. We've all heard the phrase, a rising tide lifts all boats. Well, we're rising now. Are you ready to live out your ancestors' wildest dreams? I know we are.
And that's what Greenwood is ready to share with you.
All right, folks, back to our Roland Martin Unfiltered video in just one moment.
It's time to be smart. When we control our institutions, we win. This is the most important news show on television of any racial background. Y'all put $2, $3, $4, $5, $10, $15, $20, $30 on this and keep this going. What you've done, Roland, since this crisis came out in full bloom. Anybody watching this, tell your friends. Go back and look at the last 2 weeks, especially of Roland Martin Unfiltered. I mean, hell, go back and look at the last 2 days. You've had sitting United States senators today, Klobuchar and Harris. Whatever you have that you can bring to Roland Martin Unfiltered to support it, please do, because this information may literally save your life.
Watch Roland Martin Unfiltered daily at 6 p.m. Eastern on YouTube, Facebook, or Periscope, or go to RolandMartinUnfiltered.com. Support the Roland Martin Unfiltered Daily Digital Show by going to RolandMartinUnfiltered.com. Our goal is to get 20,000 of our fans contributing $50 each for the whole year. You can make this possible. RolandMartinUnfiltered.com.